Our newspaper reviewer Chukwudi Okolubaja is seated here in the studio looking gentlemanly. Cool colors.
I have told you that my New Year resolution is one that is going to devastate my enemies. Sartorial outlook.
Do you have
Name
enemies?
them. Name them.
I know Sabi do enemy. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Good morning.
The cold won't relent.
Yes.
Juma will say this is not cold.
It's not cold. Come on. It's not cold.
Just see you again.
It's not cold. So how was your weekend?
Lovely. Could be better, but we thank God for small mercies as always.
Yes. So let's see what happened over the weekend into Monday this morning. I'll begin with the Daily Trust newspaper. And below the masthead of the Daily Trust newspaper, airstrike kills 15 in Zamfara. With kickers, they are vigilantes. That's coming from the governor of Zamfara State. We killed bandits. Nigerian Air Force debunks that. You find the details all on page 4. A side piece of the picture story, Lagos-Calabar Road project missing in 2025 budget. Want to know why? Find out on page 54. Shake-up in army, Oluyede moves to bolster anti-terrorism fight. Details on page 9. Minister Jega commends Zulum over ranches for herders. Find details on page 46. Carter sought my release from Abacha's detention. That's coming from the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. And the picture story, you see there, President Bola Tinubu receives in audience the chairman of First Holdco PLC, Mr. Femi Otedola, CON, during Otedola's visit to the president in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates yesterday. Enugu Safe City inside Governor Mba's digital transformation agenda. Find that all in the inside pages of the Daily Trust. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Peter Mba, and other guests watching a demonstration during the opening ceremony of the Command and Control Center of the Enugu Safe City, a digital security system built by the state government recently. You find all these stories on page 20. Nyere?
All right, so let's see what this Nigeria is offering this morning. The lead story here says, looted funds, that's the kicker. Nigerians deserve full disclosure. The writers, lawyers, CSOs want government to render account of status of Abacha or the recovered funds. Outrage over Diziani's loot as U.S. directs on how $52.88 million should be utilized. That's on page 4. You want to see that? Interesting read, I assure you. Beside the masthead, pensioners raise concerns on discrepancies in payment of 20% arrears increase. Pensioners raise concerns on discrepancies in payment of 20% arrears increase. That's on page 5. And below the picture story, we have alleged misuse of Cybercrimes Act. SERAP drags federal government governors to ECOWAS court. Details on page 10. And beside the pictures right here, we have troops kill 25 terrorists in Zamfara. Rescue 7 kidnapped victims. Details on page 10. And below that, neuropsychiatrist blames rising rate of depression, suicide on social media. Page 7 has that. Let's move quickly now to the leadership. The leadership leads with 5 governors may dump parties ahead of 2027. Riders, PDP jittery over Umba Oborovuri Eno Fubara. Oti in the spotlight as Labour Party crisis lingers. They won't dump platforms for APC. That's coming from AIDS. Details on page 4. Of course, 2027 is already closed for politicians. Above that, tax bills show Nigerians consultation report. Bochi governor tells presidency. That's on page 4. Rent default cases rise over hardship, cost of living. All right, above the masthead, troops neutralize 25 terrorists, destroy Bello Tuja's camp. That's on all the papers this morning. And beside that, Jimmy Carter saved me from Abacha's gulag. And that's coming from Obasanjo. Let's see some other headlines just beside the picture story here. This one says, what scarcity hits Mina? Vandals blamed. That's on page 20. You want to find out all the details? Pick up a copy of the leadership. Below that, IDP camp will soon be history in Benue. That's coming from Aliyah, and that's on page 16. And finally, from the front page of the leadership this morning, we have FCT community hails Wike over road construction. All right, Chukudi.
Yeah, let me just talk about this one quickly. Looted funds. Nigerians deserve full disclosure. It's not likely that the looted funds are re-looted, as social media would easily rush to. But in cases like this, it is necessary for you to dispel any doubts, to particularly mention those funds as you expend them. True. It helps messaging. I think we should think about that. Airstrike kills 15 in Zamfara. They are vigilantes. We killed bandits. The governor is saying they are vigilantes, or they were vigilantes. NAF says we killed bandits. We killed bandits. The war against bandits should be an all-out one. But when a situation where a friendly force, the vigilante S, comes under fire, allegedly by the governor, does not help those friendly forces to be in real concert in terms of, combating a common enemy. We really have to be careful about this, because I'm thinking about the level of depression that sets in when you are aiding the fight against terrorism and friendly fire kills. That friendly fire does not interpret itself as friendly. It's that something is wrong there. But again, it's an allegation. Only an investigation will reveal whether the governor is right or the NAF is right. We are only saying that in that theater, extreme caution, extreme, not real, extreme caution should be taken.
Extreme.
That to make sure that we do not begin to mourn over acts we embarked upon because we wanted those acts to help us correct some evil on the ground. A shake-up in the army, Oluyede moves to bolster anti-terrorism fight. It is still in the same vein. More boots on the ground, maybe even more intelligence, and even maybe more than that, cooperation between the civilians on the ground and the military, which takes us again back to what we just talked about. But I think Nigeria is winning the war. Turji Bello is really in a panic. I think so. Things are happening in Zamfara. His days are numbered, as the military said.
I pray to that.
I pray he surrenders. Yes, nobody wants anyone to die, really. You understand?
Well, I don't think somebody like Turji would just surrender and just give up himself.
Well, let's not think for him. Nothing is impossible in the world,
And the social media is actually not helping matters.
Social media is not helping matters. Neuropsychiatrist blames rate of depression, suicide on social media. You missed that.
I read it.
You read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is that you cannot sieve the truth from falsehood anymore. When you begin to hear the last of a man who's going to become the U.S. president, January 20, when the richest man in the world begins to say you don't censor anything, let people have free speech, fact-checking is no longer important, you shudder. Where is the world headed? Truth has become malleable. Truth has become something you beat into your own perception. And that's not good for us.
It's not good for us, but
it's not good for us.
We as citizens have to sit up.
Minister Jega commends Zulum over ranches for herders. When I talk about Zulum, then the NDLEA man, some people get jealous.
Why?
Zulum has done it again.
I
like that man. Till we solve the farmer-herder crisis, I don't know whether what was proposed by the former president is the solution in the South. What would we call it then?
Ruga.
Ruga. I don't know. because of space.
Yeah,
But some kind of arrangement needs to be on the ground. Ranching, whatever it is, some accommodation needs to be worked out. If that does not happen, we are going to see a lot more mayhem, you know, in the days ahead. So I like what Zulum has just done.
And you know, that is a route for cattle coming in from Central Africa, from Chad, from Libya, into Nigeria through Mafa.
It's a great transit point.
Through Gomborungala, Mafa, Dikwa, and then into Maiduguri.
I wish I knew the north the way you do.
No, it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful place. Actually, Mafa is a beautiful place, and there's so much arable land there. They can farm, and they can also have the ranch. And before we go, you know, we have our hearts goes out to the people who lost their lives and property in LA, California over the weekend, and the fires is still raging, destroying homes. Our hearts goes out to them. This level of destruction.
You know the depressing aspect of it. Only 27% of the fires has been put out.
Yes,
that is not good. The way the fires rage, and God forbid, if that kind of thing happens there, actually it happens there, we just let it burn itself out. That's because we don't build houses the way they do there. The white man could push his house in between vegetation and all that. When dryness comes, it becomes a fodder, you know, or rather it becomes something easily inflammable. If that kind of thing happens, I'm beginning to think, what helicopters are we going to deploy to pour all those liquids? Put it out the fire?
Like I said, the social media, the hate in the social media over this incident is just alarming.